back with a brand new Doctor Who news video. We're talking about filming today. We have talked about this topic before, but we've got a few new little bits and bats, and I thought I'd spend a little bit more time theorising than I did in the previous incarnation of this same video, basically. Today we're talking about Revolution of the Daleks, the upcoming Christmas or New Year's Day special for Doctor Who, the next episode that we're going to get. We're going to talk about what we kind of know. It's not going to be what we know about this story, it's more of just a general sort of news video, but I thought I'd take this time to sort of discuss what we actually do know and any theories that I can kind of pick out. We've got some new photos, of course, of the Black Daleks, which are very interesting, that I'm going to talk about, so that should be quite fun. But yeah, we're going to just talk about generally what's going on, why it's happening, all that sort of thing. So starting all the way back, we have this lovely photo of a brand new Dalek design. If you weren't already aware, obviously, well, sorry for spoiling it for you, but that's filming, it was in the title, all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's sort of common knowledge with the Daleks being back anyway. But this is the brand new Dalek design. This sort of black, sleek look. It looks very similar to that of the Dalek from Resolution, especially in the top half. It definitely looks a bit chunkier in this photo, but we'll get around to that in a bit. The skirt looks very different, but obviously it's very low res, so we can't really make out too much. But it does look nice. It does look different, and it looks nice. And I'm quite excited with it. This Dalek doesn't seem to have a point at the front of its skirt. It more is sort of like flat, so it feels more not square, but almost like octagonal in a way. Like it's got a few corners and stuff. And you know, it looks interesting. It looks different. It feels to me more like a sort of tank drone type Dalek than anything else. But yeah, there's a sort of weird chunkiness to it compared to the Recon Scout. However, a brand new photo has seemingly emerged today that we're going to talk about. I don't know where this has come from. I just sort of saw it scrolling around on Twitter and I thought, well, may as well talk about it. This is another shot of the Dalek, which again doesn't look as big, but it's a clearer look at the brand new Dalek. You've got the black head and sort of waist section with the guns. That looks interesting. It looks very similar to that of the Resolution, almost exactly the same as the Resolution one. Obviously just painted black and look with like brand new metal opposed to looking rusty and old. So I do quite like that, especially if it links into the story of how these Daleks were put together, whether they actually are the Recon Scout Daleks originally, or whether they're a different form from it, or whether they've been reproduced or anything like that. I really like the look of it, and it definitely does hark back to the one from last year, so I'm interested to see how that connects. However, the skirt section is significantly different. You've got a much more sort of standard tank-like drone base, which is definitely quite interesting. You've got a little bit of a link to the Paradigm Daleks on the side there, with the sort of almost like air vents on the side of the Dalek there. That's quite interesting. The base seems a lot bulkier, the skirt seems a lot bigger and bulkier and impactful. It's sort of weird to describe. You can kind of see it on screen. I don't really need to go into too much detail. You can kind of see it and make your own mind up on what you think. The interesting thing I like to pick out is the size difference between the two photos. In the initial leaked photo, this Dalek looked bigger, wider, it's almost chunkier in a way, whereas this new photo looks a lot slimmer, similar to that of the Resolution Dalek. Now, if you watch some of the behind the scenes stuff for Resolution that came on YouTube and on the DVDs, you'll know that the Dalek in Resolution didn't have anyone inside. It was the first Dalek to never have an actual person inside operating it. It was actually all animatronic, remote control. One remote control to pick up a Dalek and make it move and exterminate and all that sort of thing. It was totally remote control, which I think is definitely quite interesting, but that was explanation as to why the Dalek was thinner. It wasn't as chunky. So that's what I think is happening here. With it being a very similar design, they could probably pull that off. However, you've got a sort of chunkier design here, which makes me believe that potentially you've actually got someone inside that Dalek outfit. Maybe that's a little bit of the difference there. Now, that's just a guess, obviously, but, you know, there's a different size. There's definitely different sizes, especially on the upper section. So I'm very interested to see what that means and where that'll go, but that's my initial guess. We've got a couple more photos of the new Dalek as well. One very distant one from the back of a van. Not too much new information there. You can just see a bit of broken black Recon Dalek and a sort of half-built black Recon Dalek there in the back of the truck, both on the left and the right respectively. And finally, we've got a shot of the black Dalek bits just lying all over the floor on the Clifton suspension bridge. We'll get back to this shot though. In the background of a few shots, you can see the Bronze Daleks are back, which is obviously quite exciting for those who are fans of the Bronze Daleks. I am personally quite a big fan of them, but you know, I was looking forward to seeing a new design, so I'm sort of half on it. They look good though. You may be able to see there's a slight upgrade to these Daleks. They haven't got the plunger anymore. They've now got a claw, which is quite interesting. They may be able to do more with that, have a bit of unique ability. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing where they go with these. Nothing too much else to point out. That's the only sort of big difference between these Daleks, is that they've got a sort of black claw instead of the black plunger that we had before. And then we get back to this photo of the broken black recon scout type Dalek. On-set reports started to suggest that maybe these Daleks were against each other, Dalek versus Dalek, which is obviously isn't a brand new concept. We've had it over the years before, starting I think all the way back in Peter Davison's era with the sort of Civil War type arc between the Daleks, obviously finishing in Remembrance of the Daleks. Remembrance of the Daleks, obviously a big fan favourite Dalek story. You have two different factions of Dalek going at each other, fighting each other, one working for Davros and one working for like a Dalek leader. So maybe it is something to do with that. If these Daleks really are going at each other and fighting each other, maybe it's to do with that. Maybe Davros is involved. The last time we saw the Daleks for a proper big story before Resolution was Magician's Apprentice and Witch's Familiar, where obviously Davros was a part of. These bronze Daleks could come from Skaro, working for Davros, loyal to Davros himself, whereas the black Daleks might be more standalone. The ones, obviously, the first to leave Skaro, as the Doctor said in Resolution. So maybe these were the same Daleks, or upgraded versions of the same Daleks, that thought they'd killed Davros in Genesis of the Daleks. It's about purity and no races above the Daleks, whereas the Bronze Daleks are loyal to their sort of leader. It's the same sort of thing with Remembrance of the Daleks in a way. So that's interesting, but at the same time, I think that would lean too much into Remembrance with the whole Earth story as well. The Doctor trying to stop a Dalek civil war from killing human civilians. Let them have their battle, but elsewhere. Like, don't kill anyone who doesn't need to be killed. Alternatively, it could be to do with purity. You've got, obviously, harking back to Parting of the Ways, we had Daleks that were like part human mixed with human DNA and brought back to life as proper Daleks. And you've also got Daleks that were picked up from the sort of Stolen Earth Journey's End, that were pure Dalek, pure Skaro Dalek, because they were all birthed from Davros's DNA. So you've got different levels of purity within Dalek, all that see themselves as supreme beings, whether they hate themselves or not. So you could have one Dalek that is totally pure Skaro, and the other one that maybe isn't totally pure Skaro, and there's a sort of battle between that in level of purity, and pure Dalek race is above the non-pure Dalek race. And yeah, so if they are fighting against each other, there's lots of different aspects and interesting ideas you could play with. Hopefully not too close to Remembrance, but hopefully close enough that we get the same sort of vibes, because Remembrance is a brilliant story, and I low-key kind of hope it leans in that direction without being too referential. We've got a couple other shots as well. The Bronze Daleks lining up with all their lights, eyes on in the middle of the suspension bridge. Looks gorgeous at night. It's a brilliant shot. You can see the bits of broken black Dalek lying in front of them, so that's quite fun. And there's also another shot of people running through the streets, extras, stuff blowing up, fire. It's big scale. It looks like Stolen Earth. It looks like Journey's End. It looks like it's going to be quite an exciting special, and I'm personally quite down for it. Whatever you thought about Resolution, whatever you thought about Series 12, Series 11, I can't help but be quite excited for this. Dalek versus Dalek by the looks of it. You know, a big Earth scale type attack. Remembrance of the Daleks mixed with Stolen Earth. It looks quite interesting. I'm certainly quite excited for it. But yeah, that's basically all the new images we have. Obviously we've only got one sort of new image there, but it gives us a better sort of look, and I thought I'd spend a little bit more time theorising about this specific story, what we actually know, what we don't know. Obviously we know the Doctor's in prison at the end of The Timeless Children, so we'll wonder who's going to get her out of that. A lot of people have been theorising lots of different things, but I'm not going to dip my toe in it just yet. I'm going to hold off a little bit longer before talking about them specific rumours. But yes, interesting stuff. Maybe the Jadoon play a part in it, who knows? I honestly don't know, but I'm quite excited. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd be very interested to have a read. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment, obviously subscribe with notifications on. We've got lots of exciting videos coming up your way very shortly. This week I'll be doing an interview with Matt Roman, who obviously worked as a Cyberman and Jadoon throughout Series 12, Series 11. He played like the sniper bottle, that sort of thing, and various roles through Series 10, 11 and 12. So a lot of interesting tales to talk about, a lot of interesting bits of information about background for these characters and monsters and all that sort of thing. So I'll be doing that, so stay tuned, subscribe for that. And I've also got a complete history of the Master video coming next week, as well as some more classic reviews down the line as well. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff around the corner, lots of things to talk about, lots of things to be excited and look forward to. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you are interested. My Twitter and Instagram are linked in the description below if you want to follow me on there for the latest updates and all that sort of thing. But in the meantime, I'll see you all later. That's been it for me, I think. Have a lovely day, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.